Americans, we are spoiled. Every time I open up a social media app, I get hit with people complaining about problems in our country. And I totally get it. We need to be able to criticize our country's government. It's so they know where and what it is we want change on exactly. But sometimes I feel like it moved from criticism to full-blown hatred.
I hate living in America!
Honestly, at this point, I don't even want to get rich to even be rich and live luxurious. I literally want to get rich so I can get the fuck out this country. I cannot stand it here anymore. Everything about this country makes me make my fucking stomach bubble the fuck up.
I don't want to live here anymore. I live in America, and the sense of dread that I feel living here for the next 30, 40 years is so bad, you guys.
Hey guys, I'm back on another rant about how I hate America.
I see people disrespecting the flag and saying how much they hate and want to leave this country, but simultaneously enjoying all of what America has to offer without second thought. Us USA citizens are kinda like Faruka. We throw a fit when we want something and, well, we throw another when we don't get it. We treat the government like it's our rich sugar daddy that will give us anything we want on a whim. Which would be okay, somewhat, if we also didn't expect him to do it for our friends and, well, the whole damn group. We take a lot of things for granted. The government isn't our daddy. That's not what the government is used for. We can't just expect the government to be able to hand out money to everyone and everything we want them to. Sometimes the government needs a bit of a financial break, hence to why Doge is a thing. And yes, you can tell that I have been saying we, because I do believe, as American citizens, we are all in this together. We have everything we could want and need in this country. From a citizen standpoint, you have everything. You have everything from your rights to food, water, and spending money. Oh, but I don't have spending money, so, you're wrong, making everything you're about to say invalid. Well, dearest viewer, yes, in fact, you actually do have spending money. A lot of us do, and we don't actually realize it. If we can buy things like fast food, soda, candy, any sort of sweets really at all, any clothes that are not needed, or really any junk that we don't need to survive, then yes, we do have spending money, especially in comparison about some of the countries I'm about to talk to today in this video. Now, again, before I get into it, I do understand being able to criticize our government. It's important to be able to tell the government where we need change and how to well fix itself. And this video isn't to anyone that has an actual valid criticism about our government. This video is simply to the people that complain and doesn't really understand how lucky we are in America. This video simply goes out to the people who take our country for granted. And yes, I am about to make the "there are starving children in Africa" argument simply because I think it's very important to make this argument. It seems that we truly need to understand how hard other places have it to truly understand how well we have it here. So as I go through this list, please remember all the luxuries that America allows you to enjoy. Central African Republic, or also going to be called in this video CAR. Now, CAR is amongst the 3 most poorest countries in the world for a few reasons. But some of the notable reasons is because of government corruption / rebellions that constantly go on. Approximately 71% of CAR's population is living under the poverty line. Now, if you look at that in comparison to USA's poverty line, only 11.5% of us live under that. Now, something that we take for granted is electricity, with only 14% of their people being able to have access to it. That leaves approximately 86% of their people without it. These people are relying solely off of solar power and, well, batteries. Things as unubiquitous here is seen as rare commodity in CAR, like flashlights. Now keep in mind this country is very rich in, well, natural resources. The reason why they couldn't exploit these resources though is because of the rebellions that happen around every 10 years or so. These people are in a constant state of war with others and, well, themselves. My fingers are crossed that they're able to figure everything out and, well, for these people's safety. South Sudan, being the 2nd poorest country on the list, having about 76% of their people being under the poverty line. Again, America is sitting at 11.5 in comparison. Most of these people can't even get a good education, with only 27% being literate. And to the feminazis that may or may not be watching my video, if you want to complain about any gender gap, here would be the place to do so. Out of that 27% of literate people in South Sudan, only 16% of that 27% is, well, female, leaving the rest of it to be mainly men. That is a dominated industry if I've ever seen one. But their low education and that huge gender gap is not their biggest problem. South Sudan is, if not the newest, one of the newest countries in the world. Welcome, South Sudan. But they are already running into some major issues, including flooding and, well, poor transportation of materials. Mostly because their roads are constantly flooded and, well, they actually don't really even have roads at all. These people only have about a 6-month period to get resources in and out of their country. That is a very small window. On top of this all, they are also in a civil war. They're constantly fighting with one another, making it nearly impossible for their people to prosper and thrive. Their living conditions is something else to note. People are living in self-made homes with things that they find, like, well, pieces of scrap metal and random wooden planks and sticks. They'll have big sheets of plastic hung over their house as roof and walls. Obviously, there are no sinks or toilets or really any running water at all, taking about a 30-minute walk to just get some clean drinking water in South Sudan. Their floors are mainly made out of mud, having no actual tile or wood for flooring. These people rarely wear shoes. A lot of their children are seen barefoot and, well, malnourished. While in America, we have food galore. There are places where people will work all day just to get one meal. Again, America, we don't really have that problem. Even our homeless people know where to go to actually get fed. And number one, the poorest country in the world, Burundi, I believe I'm saying that right?
In the Great Rift Valley, where the African Great Lakes region and East Africa converge. How do you say it? In English, it is normally pronounced as Burundi.
Burundi is, as of right now, the poorest country in the world, with a staggering 87% of their people living under the poverty line. And 75% of their people are living in multi-dimensional poverty, which is something I did not know existed up until today. And when I first read that word, I am ashamed to say that I actually thought that multi-dimensionally poor means that you are poor in not only this dimension, but your next dimension over and the ones next to you. I didn't know how they measured that, so I actually had to look up the meaning of this word. It basically means you're just poor in multiple factors like housing, stocks, and things like that, I guess. I might be wrong. You can comment it down below, but yeah, multidimensionally poor. The reason to such high poverty rates are because of a few factors, like changing climate, poor education, poor transportation, and one of the biggest reasons is the civil war they faced in 1993 to 2005. Their education situation is definitely a tough one. The biggest reason to why their education is so low is because they simply don't have enough money to pay teachers or even really pay for their students to go to school. And that makes sense when their yearly salary equates to, well, $100 here. And on top of this all, only about 10% of their people there have access to the internet. These people are cut off from civilization, making nearly no money, getting no food, and really getting almost nearly no help. Again, we are so fortunate to be an American citizen, and let's all not ever forget that. Now, a lot of these countries deal with similar problems. Most, if not all of them, are basically foreign to us. We are pampered in comparison. In this country, we have water everywhere you go, with a store having at least one water fountain or sink, and every restaurant you walk into, if you ask for a cup of water, they are forced to give you one. But again, in places like South Sudan, these people are forced to walk about 30 minutes a day to even get one cup of drinkable water. Other countries that don't have clean drinking water would include CAR, the Democratic Republic of Congo, and Ethiopia. In South Sudan, they have to walk 30 minutes a day for just a cup of drinkable water. While I can guess that me and you both only have to walk about 10 seconds a day. By 2030, 1.6 billion people are going to be without drinking water. And in America, we will not be a part of that statistic. Unlike other places, we can sleep good at night knowing that our water won't give us E. coli or really any other disease from just simply drinking it. How lucky we are, right? No? You don't think so? Not yet? Okay, fine. Let's talk about food. It's no secret that Americans have an overweight problem, with about 70% of us being overweight and about 42.3% of us being obese. There are places in the world that don't have that same problem. About 9 million people a year die through starvation, and in the USA, only about 14,000 of us pass. With a population sitting around 342 million, that is a death rate of only 0.004%. But let's look at other places in comparison, like Madagascar, sitting at 0.026%, or Mali sitting at 0.03%, Somalia sitting at 0.031%, South Sudan 0.032, Syria sitting at 0.04. People in other countries wish they could have food placed in front of them as easily as Americans do. With only a quick trip to the store, we have 3 meals a day. Again, they will work day and night for just one. I always believed that being born in America is like hitting the baby lottery. We have freedoms and rights that other people would kill to have. Simply being able to criticize our government being one of them. Unlike North Korea, you're able to talk smack about the government all you want, without any, legal consequences, without being thrown into a camp. Unlike the UK, you can pray in your head or say what it is that you please online without thrown in jail. And unlike Afghanistan, you can show your hair, your skin without being physically punished. And unlike Algeria, you won't face legal consequences for being a bit fruity in the booty. Now, the next time you have a quarrel with America, just remember all the things that it has done for all of us. Not just you and not just me, but every single person here. We are so lucky to be here, born or legal immigrants. We are American citizens, and we should only strive for the unity and the betterment of our country, especially when a common theme amongst the poorest countries in the world is a civil war. Don't let anyone push us into that same reality. Let's keep America great, and let's work to make it better. This is Being Based with Brooke, and I hope that this message reached you well.